Hi, I'm Randy Sutter, and today we have the opportunity to talk with Ryan Kulka, who is the Republican recommended candidate for Bloomington mayor. The Republicans in Senate District 49 have had the opportunity to interview you in our candidate search process, and we have come out of that process convinced that you are the best candidate for mayor, and we are proud to recommend you for that position.
Thank you.
So I would like to just ask you a few questions today so that the viewers of this video have a chance to be impressed as we have been.
Okay.
So Ryan, the first thing I would like to do is ask you to briefly highlight your background and tell us why you feel you'd be the best candidate for Bloomington mayor.
Yeah, thanks, Randy. I appreciate you having me here today, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak in front of the people of Bloomington. My background, I'm Bloomington born, Bloomington raised. I'm 35 years old, and I've been here for 34-ish years. So I feel like I have a really good pulse on the city of Bloomington. You know, obviously having grown up here, playing youth sports, high school sports. I went to Bloomington Jefferson, graduated in 2002, and then from there went on to the University of St. Thomas, and I studied business entrepreneurship and financial management there.
Okay.
So those are my degrees in college, and then I actually moved back to Bloomington and purchased my first home here in 2008, and had that home for about 10 years, and recently just sold it, and now I'm looking for a new property here in Bloomington. So I love living here, and I love it so much that I've actually formed a couple of the businesses that I own and operate, and they exist here and are based here in Bloomington as well. So obviously, I love this city, and I feel like I'd be the best candidate for mayor, not only because of my love of the city of Bloomington, but also because of my business and financial background. I know what it takes to manage an operating budget, to create jobs and hire people, and also manage those people effectively. And to be honest, I know how to bootstrap a budget so that a lot of things get ample attention. Starting a business and growing it from the ground up is not easy, and you have to be aware of a lot of different things at the same time. So I feel like my experience in growing businesses, managing operating budgets, hiring and managing people will give me a good stance to be effective as mayor of Bloomington.
Well, very good. It's going to be very positive to have someone with a business background, finance background as mayor. I think that's going to be very important. So one of the things that's important in Bloomington, among many of the people that live here, is affordability, both for young families moving in, for older people that wish to stay in Bloomington after their careers are completed. Mm-hmm. So it's come up as a concern. You outlined on your website a few of the ideas that you have for addressing the rising cost of housing. Could you briefly mention some of those ideas?
Yeah. And I know that's a hot button issue. I've talked to many residents over the last 2 months, and that's one that always comes up. I think property taxes is one thing. Bloomington is about 10 to 20% higher than the median property tax in the state of Minnesota. So I think that's a low-hanging fruit item that can be addressed to make things a little bit more affordable. I also think that the city and the council needs to work more hand in hand with current landlords. I know that there are policies in place as far as new developments and Section 8 allocation within those new developments, but there's also a lot of great places to live in Bloomington that also exist. So I think we need to look to and work with the current landlords and the people that have developed properties in the past to help incentivize them to make housing more affordable and offer more affordable housing in that realm too. But I think as far as overall affordability, it doesn't just stop with housing. I think making it easier and more affordable for businesses to operate and reside here is crucial. The more of our dollars that we can keep within our borders will make, as a byproduct, will make Bloomington more affordable. And I think we need to unlock that key for businesses once again to make it easy for them to establish and put footholds here and operate here for the residents of Bloomington. So those things are coupled, with the fact of I also think that there's a lot of talk about, raising minimum wage to make things more affordable. And to me, I feel like that's a little bit of a Band-Aid. If you have a headache, take a Tylenol, it goes away. It's symptomatic. I think we really need to focus on training people up. It's the old adage of give the man a fishing pole and he'll eat for a day, but teach him to fish and he'll eat for life. Same thing. I think we need to start forming, adult education and language and things like that so that we can be more inclusive of everybody and also lift them up, train them up to be on the same level and equal so that they have the opportunities for these, jobs within Bloomington that are being created by these new businesses.
I was glad to hear you mention your business background and the fact that one of your businesses is in fact located here in Bloomington, so that you have direct experience with what taxes mean as far as your bottom line. Yeah. And I think that gives you great empathy as far as the other businesses that are here in Bloomington.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going on to the next question, one complaint that one often hears about the current mayor and city council is that it has set itself up above the residents and makes decisions without respecting the concerns of those residents. How would you encourage more openness and transparency in city government?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think it's hugely important. Just from my own personal experience, living in Bloomington for the last 3+ decades of my life, I find it very hard to mine out information about what's occurring on city council, what issues are being debated, what status these issues are at. I mean, if you ask a lot of people in the city right now, they don't know the status of the water park. They don't know the status of the community center, where it's going, what would be the kind of the fallout of all that too. And I just feel like a lot of these things are pushed through very fast, and there's not a lot of information out there readily available for people that can't attend city council meetings, obviously. But I think just offering people more outlets and access to city council and to me as mayor will be essential in that. I'm a huge social media guy, as you know.
Yes.
And I'm very responsive there. I live in my email inboxes as well, so gone will be the days of emails to your mayor that go unreplied to for years and years and years.
Good.
So I think that's huge. I'm also committed to hosting weekly office hours so that people can come in and know exactly when I'll be there every week, and schedule an appointment, come on in, or just walk in if I'm there, sit down and have a conversation, voice concerns, tell me what you're liking and not liking about how the city's operating. So I just think deeper access and more relatability and transparency will be huge as far as that goes. Also, I want more people to go to city council meetings, so let's make sure that the City of Bloomington website is up to snuff, that more messages are being pumped out on social media to keep people informed and make it easy. We're in the age of ease. People want stuff spoon-fed to them, and if you don't do that, I think you're doing the residents and the citizens of Bloomington a huge disservice.
Very good, Ryan. I'll look forward to being able to navigate through the City of Bloomington webpage a lot easier when you get elected.
Absolutely.
So another question is, what are your thoughts about engaging interested citizens and city boards and commissions? Are you open to creating more committees to seek input by citizens in the city planning process?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's crucial. I'm doing that right now in my own campaign. Obviously, I don't have local political experience. Everybody knows that. I'm coming in as a lifelong resident of Bloomington and a business owner with, I think, a lot of fresh perspectives, and I'll be able to look at issues from a different angle. I haven't been entrenched in city government my whole life.
Right.
So I think having that third party or second set of eyes, fresh perspective, will be an advantage for me. It's what I do on a daily basis in my current job as I'm assessing businesses and making recommendations on what they should do, not only financially but marketing wise. I know a little bit about a lot of industries, and I think that serves me well as far as being able to step into this role and look at it with fresh eyes and come up with great ideas. I'm also forming coalitions and committees that are informing me right now about all the major issues that are going on in the city. And I need that because I need input, good or bad, black or white, from both sides. and to be able to assess and make my own stances and positions. So I think that will likely and should carry over when I'm mayor, because one perspective is not always the right path.
Well, very good. I have one more question before I'll let you wrap it up.
Sure.
So at this point, do you believe that the city needs to make its spending priorities clear? And how would you provide that clarity?
I do, and it kind of goes back to the transparency topic and issue. I think the needs should be taken care of before the wants, and I think prioritization is pretty simple when it comes down to that. We do it in our everyday lives every single day when we're prioritizing what our needs are versus our wants. It's common sense, and I think instituting some of these things to be more transparent, like office hours, getting more people to city council meetings and more involved, setting up coalitions and committees, doing more on social media and doing more through the website to really lay this out and document it and make it really easy for people to see. I think that will go a long way, and people will feel good about that, knowing that not a vast majority of this budget is going towards one or two projects, but that everybody's sort of being taken care of in the ways that they need to be.
I think that's great, because I think as a businessman, you know that you can't spend money on everything. You know that you have to consider what the payback is going to be, and potentially even as you go in to make investment decisions, what unintended consequences might come out in going in a particular direction. It's good to have that experience in the office. Brian, it's been a very pleasure. It's been a pleasure for me to meet with you this afternoon, to talk with you about your views and your background. So I think we've covered a number of areas, but I would like to ask you if there's anything that you'd like to emphasize or cover that we haven't discussed in these questions so far.
I think I would just like to emphasize and let people know that I do really care about this city and what goes on here, and about making everybody feel like one and like they're on an equal playing field. I'm not a career politician. This is where I want to be, and this is the role that I want to be in, so that I have a meaningful, impactful position where what I think can actually affect change. So I would encourage people to support me and get out and vote. Obviously, there's a primary election going on, and we need to get past that primary, get me in the top two, and then let's fight to get me into the role as mayor.
Well, thank you very much again. Yes, early voting has already started, and we will be doing everything that we can to get people out to vote. But I think that we really are excited that we have a solid candidate that we can support. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Randy. Hi everybody, it's Ryan Kulka, and I'm so excited to be running for mayor of the city of Bloomington. Thank you for watching this video, and I would invite you to visit my website at www.kulka4mayor.com. Register to be a volunteer. I have some cool events coming up that I'm going to need help with. The next one is Wednesday, July 3rd. We're going to be putting a crew together to go to Summerfest, walking around in Kulka for Mayor t-shirts. Would love to have you involved. Please contact me through my website. Also on July 8th, I will be at Poor Richard's Common House in Bloomington for Pints and Politics. Another opportunity for you to come and meet me if you haven't already. I'd love to talk to you and have a great conversation. Thank you.